Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Brett's Brain. Today, we're going to talk about 4 attributes that are non-negotiable when making your first hire or any hire for your startup. Hey, I'm Brett Broll, former entrepreneur, current venture capitalist. Thanks so much for checking out this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, share, do all those things. Our goal here at Brett's Brain is to help entrepreneurs increase their chance at success. So ask us questions if you have any. Just put them in the comment section. We do our best to get back and answer them as fast as we can, or we'll make some videos about it. Okay. Hiring. It's really scary as an entrepreneur. You're bringing in your first new hire or your 10th, doesn't matter. You're making huge changes to your company when you're an early stage founder. And it's super, super important. It can make or break you. Your first hire, you're going to increase your burn. You're going to reduce your runway. You're going to be paying people. You're responsible for them. Lots and lots of things and thoughts go into it. I've made some terrible hiring mistakes in my career, unfortunately, but I've learned from them. And I watch entrepreneurs do really, really great jobs of bringing people on board. And I've also seen entrepreneurs make hires that actually slow them down. That sounds counterintuitive, right? We brought more manpower on and it slowed us down. Trust me, it can happen. It's happened to me. So there's a couple of things that you need to look for every time you make a new hire. First, you want to make sure that you think about culture fit. Honestly, this is the one that people tend to forget about most frequently. How does this new employee fit in the culture or your organization? Are they going to work well with others? Are they going to work the same types of hours? What's their work style? Does it fit with your work style? There's multiple different cultures out there that work and can work for a startup. There's not one that is prescribed to everybody that's the best startup culture. That's just a myth. Like, multiple cultures can work, but you need to make sure your hires are aligned with that culture. Super important. When you go from 2 founders to your first employee, you just changed your culture by 50%. You went from 2 to 3. When you're going from 9 to 10, you're changing your culture by 10%, right? And so your culture changes significantly every single time you make a new hire in an early stage company. You need to interview for culture. They need to be a fit. Doesn't matter how perfect they look on a resume. If they don't fit culturally, they're not going to be a fit for you and they're not going to last. And in fact, they can really actually slow you down and destroy your company. Number 2, work ethic. Listen, it's hard to hire people that want to have a 9-to-5 job at an early stage startup. Once you get to a certain stage, you're going to have to hire those types of people, and that's okay. Like, people that want to work to live and not live to work, totally fine, and we need those to scale businesses once you get to growth equity, Series B, Series A stages. Before that, it's really hard to hire people that don't have a great work ethic and aren't willing to work outside of those normal bounds. You got to hire people that are willing to kind of put the time in whenever it's needed. It doesn't mean they shouldn't take vacation. They shouldn't be able to take vacation. Doesn't mean they're not going to need time for themselves. But when they're in it, they're in it. They're right there next to you, working maybe not quite as much as a founder, but they feel that same urgency that you feel as a founder. Work ethic is super important. So you've got to be checking in on work ethic and will they fit with you in the stage that you're at as a company. That ties into our first point, which was culture, right? That's a type of culture and the type of person that you're looking for at the startup culture. Number 3, intelligence. Got to have smart people. Really, really hard to replace intelligence and the ability to think on your own, to problem solve on your own, and to make decisions on your own. Again, the whole purpose of bringing people into your organization as the startup CEO is to take stuff off of your plate. Up until this point, for first hires or even early hires, you're doing everything. You're the pocket knife entrepreneur that has to be good at everything: ops, finance, sales, marketing, everything. So when you bring people in, their whole goal is to take stuff off your plate to enable you to do all those other things that are left better, more efficiently, more effectively. If you don't bring people in that are smart enough or have the drive to figure out what needs to be done, are comfortable enough and confident enough to make those decisions on their own, then you're going to really miss out. You're going to find yourself in a position that you're actually taking more time helping this person than they are helping you. So you've really got to find people that have that level of intelligence that will enable them to figure things out. It doesn't matter if they need to ask you questions occasionally. Like, that's an obvious thing. People are going to have to ask questions. They're going to want your guidance. But if you find yourself answering the same question multiple times, that should be a real signal for you that you might not have the right person in the right seat. And number 4 is coachability. And this ties into everything else, right? You want people that are willing to learn. You want people that are hungry to learn, to move on and gain new ideas, to figure out how to do things on their own. And yeah, they're going to need some coaching up front. But you don't want people that aren't going to ask questions, that aren't willing to collect those data points. Coachability to me isn't doing what you say. Coachability to me is somebody that wants to go out, collect data points, and then make their own informed decisions. Nobody can make a decision without having data points. So coachability is somebody that is willing to listen, collect those data points, and then make the decision that they think is right, or make the proposal that they think is right for the company, for their role within your organization. And if people aren't coachable, they're not going to grow with your company. So if somebody's not coachable, not mentorable, they're not going to grow. As your company grows from a pre-seed to a seed to a Series A, all the way to an IPO, hopefully, those people that aren't coachable, they're not going to last with you. And you're going to put all this time and effort into them up front, and then you're going to have to let them go. Or they're going to naturally move on because they don't have the ability to grow with you. And so those are the 4 key things, attributes for any person that you want to bring in before you hire them. Those are things you need to look for and are super important. Now, you also, if you're bringing a technical person on, they need the technical skill set. If you're going to bring somebody on in sales, you need to think that they have the ability to sell. But if they're smart, willing to work hard, and coachable, guess what? You can help them level up. It's going to take some time, but sometimes the young, hungry hire is better than the really experienced hire with a huge Rolodex. The most successful hires I had in my organizations fit that mold. They were the young, hungry entrepreneurs or early stage employees that just wanted to learn and soak things up. You can get so much value out of those people, and those people can get so much value out of the experience with your startup. So really think about those things. Now, you might notice a couple things that weren't in my list. One is industry experience. I don't actually think you need to hire for industry experience. You should have advisors, mentors, and probably the founders should know a lot about the industry. So if you have smart people, they can figure it out. They can learn an industry. In fact, oftentimes I think the industry is the easiest thing to learn, especially when you immerse yourself in it. So the industry piece. And then experience is another thing that I didn't include in that list. And I already talked about why. So those are 2 things I think that people really look for when they're making first hires that I think is actually not a good idea. You shouldn't score based on industry experience or industry knowledge or work experience. Find those young, hungry people that are super smart, super coachable, and really willing to work hard, and you're going to get so far so fast. Now, there are those unicorns out there that have all 4 of the attributes that I said, and they're experienced, and they know everything about your industry. But the reality is, those are unicorns. If you wait forever to find that person, you may never make a hire, and you're going to slow your company down. So don't wait for it, but don't sacrifice on the 4 key attributes that we talked about. Because if you sacrifice on one of those 4, it's not going to end up well for your company or that hire. Thanks for checking out this video. Hope you got something out of it. If you have any questions, don't forget to ask down in the comment section. Try to get back to all of them. And don't forget to share, like, and subscribe.